commander is now marching smartly to take his position and give the orders for the guards to form 3 ranks and commence the march pass.
Your Excellency, the special guest of honor, Your Excellency, distinguished invited guests, senior officers, ladies and gentlemen. We witnessed a while ago the parade commander, Lieutenant Colonel Mukhtar Sani Daroda, gave the orders for the guards to form 3 ranks and commence the march past. What you are witnessing now is the fire pass towards the saluting guys led by the color party. The essence is for the guards to pay their respect to the special guest of honor who has taken his position on the saluting guys to acknowledge their compliments. The fire pass will involve the guards forming squad on the right and left of the parade before presenting arms to the special guest of honor, His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. This is indeed a unique day in the annals of history of our great nation, Nigeria. It's a day to reflect on the sacrifices made by our heroes past, who of course fought and gave their all for the freedom we are celebrating today. Of course, today is a day for history to recall great thinkers and great men of this great nation, Nigeria. Talking about the likes of Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, the first indigenous Governor General of our great nation, Nigeria. History would also recall Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, the first and only Prime Minister ever produced by this great nation. We will also recall the great sage of the Western region, a person of Chief Obafemi Awolowo, who of course was the Premier of the Western region. History will recall Sir Ahmedu Bello, the Premier of the Northern region, and of course we will remember Dr. Michael Okpara, the Premier of the then Northern Region. We will not forget in a hurry lives of Chief Anthony Enahoro of blessed memory, the first indigenous member of the Parliament who, of course, moved for the independence of Nigeria in 1956. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, any moment from now, the guards will be forming squad on the right and left of the parade, after which they will present arms to the special guest of honor. What you are witnessing now, distinguished guests, are the guards forming squad on the right and left of the parade. Shortly after now, they will present arms to the special guest of honor, who, of course, standing at the saluting dais to receive their compliments. Your Excellency, the special guest of honor, distinguished guests, of course, approaching the saluting dais is the number 3 guard and all female guards drawn from the Nigerian Army Women's Corps. The guards have just paid their compliment to His Excellency, the special guest of honor. You can see the unique synchronization of steps with the mass band of parade, beautifully synchronized and coordinated by these highly professionally trained men and women of the Nigerian Armed Forces and the Nigerian Police on parade, celebrating this historic occasion, the 60th independence of our great nation, Nigeria. You can see the all-female guards talking about the number 3 guard marching smartly, beautifully. This historic occasion, it is indeed the diamond jubilee of our great nation, Nigeria. The guards haven't paid their compliment to the special guest of honor, are now retreating back into line in sequential and orderly fashion, with the color party leading once again. Still reminiscing on our heroes past. Of course, today is a day to remember
the military police march past in slow and quick time is coming. This is the
second premier of the Western.
Of course, President Buhari is there inspecting and watching all of this. Remember, Nigeria is 60 today. For those of you just tuned in, 60 years of independence, and that is being celebrated right here after 10 years at the Eagle Square in the nation's capital, Abuja. And then we see President Muhammadu Buhari face mask on, watching as this slow march by the military and the police continues right here at the Eagle Square in Abuja.
And the theme for this year's Independence Day celebration is 60 years together. But Kayla, would you say we are really together as a people? Some have said that at no time has the country been this divided along ethnic and religious lines.
Of course, we have been through a lot as a country. But one thing that we need to do is remember the victories that we had. The fact that we enjoy some liberties today that you and I know we would not have been able to enjoy in the 80s, for instance, or in the early 90s. So there's a lot of things to be thankful for. That doesn't mean that we're doing well. It means that we have to reflect on how bad things can get if they are not checked in time. So we do have a situation where the country is burdened at this point in time. The divide between the rich and the poor has never been more evident.
And the fault lines,
of
religious,
course.
ethnicity, and then the country is grappling with severe economic, challenges.
Not to talk of corruption, not to talk of insecurity.
Insecurity.
This is some of the things that Nigeria has been dealing with, and more pronounced now than before. But what we do have to realize is that these are things that can be surmounted. I think many people have a tendency of pointing out the problems and not doing their part in being the solution to the problem. So it's something that everyone we do have to save our country.
And it's very obvious that we have not lived up to our potentials, as well as the promise for the world at independence 60 years ago. So the question is, how do we get on track?
How do we get back to where we're supposed to? Because we've had breaks in this journey towards greatness of ours. We had a war, we had the military regime, we had years of corruption, we've had all these things have held the country down and filled up the pockets of many people who benefited from these terrible situations. But the country is suffering and the people are suffering as well. So that's the question, Linda, that should be on the minds of every Nigerian at this point. What can we do to get our country back on track? Because there was a plan, Linda. There was a plan for this country. There was a plan as to where we were going to, what we're supposed to achieve when we reach 20. We had a plan for when we reach 30, and now we're 60. Yes, there have been gains. Yes, we do see that there's a lot that we've surmounted together, but more needs to be done, Linda, for us to be able to get back on track and get back to the greatness. And I think, listening to President Muhammadu Buhari's speech today, he and his administration basically believe that this is something that Nigerians need to do together.
But it also reminds me of the goodwill message from the Speaker of the House of Representatives. There was something he said which really touched me, and he says, "We are the ones to save ourselves. There is no savior coming to save Nigeria. We are the ones to save ourselves." And he says that we all love our country, Nigeria, yet the truth is that our country has not always lived up to our expectations, and sometimes it's hard not to be overcome by despair about the fact that where we are and the perils on the horizon, but we are the ones to save ourselves. That is the resounding, message. We are the ones to save ourselves as a people, collectively. Everyone has a role to play. But I think, we need to identify what these problems are. We cannot lie to ourselves, deceive ourselves. We need to be very candid and upfront in really, really identifying what these problems are before we can even chat a way forward.
Absolutely, and of course, President Muhammadu Buhari this morning, not just this morning, he's been saying this for a very long time since he came into power in 2015, has been talking about corruption and the impact that corruption has had on our country. But this morning, of course, the part of his speech that has been making the rounds on social media was where he said people who have plundered the country since 1999. Yes, basically through every president from 1999.
But I'm wondering why he started from 1999.
Because
the plundering of this country
started a long time ago.
1999.
Exactly. The plundering of our country started a long time. Started from when I was born, when the military was still in control. And he was a part of that establishment, to be quite honest. So there has been a lot of plundering, though, since all those years. And back to what he said. He said those who have plundered the country since 1999 have the temerity, so to speak, to criticize our efforts. Now, however people may take that speech, the truth is there have been efforts by this administration.
But the question is, are those efforts,
are they enough?
Well,
the administration would argue, and I've heard them argue this before, we've only been here how many years?
More than 4 years.
More than 4 years. So they'll say we've only been here maybe 6 years. We've been in power for 6 years, but it's a plundering that took decades. And they might be thinking it's too much for the Nigerian to ask that you fix a plundering of decades in 6 years. But what do you want the Nigerian to do? Who he sees is you. So he's going to keep asking you to help. He's going to keep asking you to do what you must. He's going to continue asking for more. And I think that's an understanding that the Buhari administration needs to, get on board with. The fact that many Nigerians are groaning under the weight of massive poverty, he was reading out the figures, the cost of petrol,
Yes.
in Nigeria in comparison. And
Compared to
he
other
is correct. He is correct in the sense that yes, we cannot sell oil cheaper than Saudi Arabia. However, the per capita income of those countries are not the same as ours.
What is even the minimum wage
The
in those
minimum wage in
countries?
those countries. And of course, we've been talking about the fact that we were saying this before we went on air. Sometimes you have to understand that the Nigerian sees a lot of extravagance. You see a lot of extravagance
political class.
From the political class. You see a lot of extravagance even on the side of government.
Yes.
So it's a little difficult for them to understand when you say we just don't have the money.
When you see your lawmakers in the National Assembly
Exactly.
appropriating money to change vehicles,
Yes.
when you see the convoy of government officials, and then
The
you see
lifestyle.
the lifestyle of,
Where
of,
they
of,
live,
of public
trips.
officials.
You hear all these stories. You cannot hide wealth. People will find out. So it's a little difficult for the Nigerian, you are trying to get him to be, to understand we just don't have the money. I heard Vice President Yemi Osinbajo while he was talking to the Africa Report a few weeks ago, and he said, look, when it comes to subsidy, he was talking about the rising cost of petrol, and he said when it comes to paying subsidy, look, we just do not have the money. He may be correct in that sense. However, the Nigerian is seeing a lot of extravagance. If the cost of governance can be cut down a little bit more, if the austerity measures can be more visible to Nigeria.
And the question, another point is why now? I think that's also, a very, very bitter pill for Nigerians to swallow. Why is the government, taking out this subsidy at this point when the country is grappling with a pandemic?
But taking away subsidy has been something the Nigerian has been asking for a long time. Many people
Would you say the Nigerian has been asking for that?
There are a lot of schools of thought that have been saying, look, it doesn't make sense we paying subsidy. We can use this money that we're using to pay subsidy to fix our refineries.
I think the thing is, some Nigerians really do not understand these issues.
Exactly.
These things need to be, broken down and to the level to which the Nigerian on the street will understand. And this brings the question: what has been the role of a national orientation agency in explaining government policies, in explaining the reason behind these recent policies by governments?
Well, if you're just tuning in, you are watching the parade at the Eagle Square for the 60th independence anniversary of Nigeria. It's been 10 years since we had an Independence Day celebration right here at the Eagle Square. So it's one that President Muhammadu Buhari and his administration are pretty proud about. Ladies and gentlemen, there you see Mr. President in the podium there, inspecting, watching as this march continues. This particular march is the slow and quick march. So we're still in the slow version of it. The slow and quick march by the military and the police. So that's going on right now live here at the Eagle Square. 10 years in the making, and hopefully we don't have to wait another 10 years before we have another Independence Day celebration. Remember, 10 years ago there was a bomb blast right here at the Eagle Square, in and around the Eagle Square, and it was terrible. It was a terrible situation right here on Independence Day. Some people lost their lives, and since then, Independence Day hasn't been celebrated here at the Eagle Square. So this is, it is downplayed a bit, quite a bit actually, considering the COVID-19 pandemic and of course social distancing rules that have been adhered to right here. So not as elaborate as we would have expected it to be, but a celebration nonetheless. Nigeria at 60, and President Muhammadu Buhari is here watching all of this, beaming with pride probably at the fact that we are able to have a celebration years after. Maybe this is his administration's way of saying we have been able to secure the country in such a way that we can have Independence Day celebration at a place that was bombed 10 years ago.
And today we remember, I think, Kayla, it's very, very important that we remember the men and women of our nation's armed forces who have been engaged in the various theaters of battle in the northeast, in the north central, in virtually, almost every part of the country suffering from insecurity, defending our territory and protecting our way of life. We remember them, and we also remember their families at home, and we say thank you from the bottom of our hearts to these people who have given their lives time and time again in trying to protect the country.
The heroes of our country.
The heroes of our country.
The people who died for the liberties that we enjoy.
Yes, the warriors who have given their lives in the service of homeland. And I think we should also remember, frontline healthcare workers who have been tackling the COVID-19 pandemic. Some have paid the supreme price, giving their lives in fighting COVID-19. We remember them today. We remember their families who they've left behind in the service to humanity.
And at a time when Nigerians are looking for heroes, looking for role models, today we salute those who kept their head above water, who were able to stand for what is right, stand for the liberties that we enjoy. People in the media who were gagged for many years. I remember, do you remember, Linda, when they sell newspapers in the gutters? You had to sneak out to get the newspapers from. I remember that my father would go, you had to sneak to get the newspaper. And if they caught you writing anything against the government, you would either have to go on exile or you would be killed mysteriously. And that's something that our country went through. We survived that. And the people who paid the price at the time, we salute them today because they created the tree that we are sitting under, myself and Linda. Two women sitting on Independence Day. There's a lot of liberties that we take for granted in this country. But there was a time when we couldn't do this. There was a time when we couldn't enjoy,
we couldn't criticize government.
We couldn't criticize government. We couldn't speak up on any social issue. Everything was hail the government, hail the government, hail the government. It's not that way anymore.
Although we haven't gotten to the point where we need to get to, because we can't say it's 100%.
No, we're not there yet. We're not there yet, but we are getting there. We are getting there. Freedom of speech.
We are hopeful that
we'll get there. Alright, so we're talking a bit about some things that we have had to survive in 60 years. We survived the war.
The Civil War.
We survived the Civil War.
We survived Ebola. And we have to remember the late Stella Adedewo
and her bravery that they are displaying in Lagos today.
That's a great decision.
Lovely woman. Thank you so much.
What she did, her bravery, her courage in making sure that Ebola did not run rampant in the country.
And you would look at what she did right now. It's such a heroic thing. But the honest truth is that she just did what was right. She just did the right thing when she was supposed to. Sometimes, I think Nigerians also need to take this as part of our national healing process. Sometimes, what needs to be done is not an extraordinary thing. All that needs to be done is the right thing. What's the right thing for you to do when you get to a place that has a key? You stand and wait your turn. What's the right thing to do if you want to make money? What's the right thing to do? And I think maybe if we start having that consciousness, if we as a collective start to think about doing what is right, then maybe we can actually see our country grow to where we're expecting it to. If doing wrong is no longer the norm, if we start to have a consciousness as Nigerians that doing the wrong thing is not normal, as opposed to expecting people to do the wrong thing all the time, that's something that we really need to start thinking about. How do we get to that level of consciousness where we do what is right when we ought to?
And nation building is a collective. It's a collective from top to bottom. A collective, each and every one of us has a role to play in nation building. In everywhere we find ourselves, in the work we find ourselves doing, we each have a role to play in building this country and making Nigeria a better place.
Sometimes bad things happen and we think that it's here to destroy us. Sometimes bad things are here for you to see what your problems are and actually find a solution. Look at the COVID-19 pandemic and what it's done to the world. In Nigeria, the major thing that COVID-19 has done, apart from those who have sadly lost their lives as a result of this pandemic, one thing COVID-19 has done is expose the gaps in governance, the decay in many sectors, education, health. We've watched in dismay as we've seen different sectors try to grapple.
It has also shown that we do not even have legislation, an effective legislation to handle pandemics in this country, which is quite frankly mind-boggling that after all these years, we do not have effective legislation to handle quarantine, to handle pandemics. So when COVID-19 hit the country, we didn't have any enabling law where guiding how we would handle the pandemic.
That's a shocking thing. I think A lot of things shocked me with this COVID-19 pandemic, but one major thing that shocked me was the infrastructure deficit at state level. At state level, with the amount of money that has been going, and you have to understand that Nigerians see these things. They see these things. Some people don't even expect things to work. I remember trying to get someone to do the right thing. No, try use that one. The person said no. These things don't work. These things don't work. And if we see that sort of, if you grow up, there's something that happens to the mindset of a Nigerian, of a person that grows up around systems that do not work. It does something to you psychologically, and it affects you as an adult. So we're looking at the younger generation right now. They're looking at this country. They're looking at President Muhammadu Buhari. They're listening to us. They're watching everything going on in the country, and they're probably thinking, what's my future? What's going to happen to my future? I will get back to that shortly, but the quick match has started right there. President Muhammadu Buhari still watching on as the quick march takes off right here at the Eagle Square in Abuja. And we're seeing a lot of ladies in uniform on this particular march. So yeah, something spectacular. Not as spectacular as most celebrations have been, but spectacular nonetheless. Happening live right here at the 60th independence anniversary of Nigeria, right here at the Eagle Square in the nation's capital. Just an information for everyone who's listening: if you're thinking of coming around the Eagle Square, you cannot get here. Let's just
the security
make that clear. It is near impossible for you to come into the Eagle
without
Square
proper accreditation.
proper accreditation and being vetted even without a proper pass. So you wouldn't be able to get in here. So you do have to watch this on television, I'm afraid. Very low-key celebration, so to speak, but a celebration nonetheless. Nigeria's Diamond Jubilee.
And so, what do we expect to see later? We expect after the quick march, there would be combined services color patrol, combined silent drill squad, mass band and civilian display. And the Nigeria Air Force is expected to have an air display. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to that one as well. So if you're around the FCT and you hear the planes, don't worry, you're safe. Don't worry, the Nigerian Air Force pilots will be having a display just as part of the celebrations marking Nigeria's Diamond Jubilee right here at the Eagle Square in Abuja. And then after that, we're going to have the 330 chairs. I'm looking forward to that one as well. Then President Muhammadu Buhari, of course, is going to sign the anniversary register. After that, there'll be 330 chairs, and then, of course, the national salute. And national salute comes with the firing of the 21 artillery volley.
That's going to be loud, Kayla.
It's going to be very loud. I'm looking forward to it. You know, like noise, do you? Looking forward to that particular display coming up shortly as the quick march continues at the Eagle Square in Abuja. I'm thinking about Independence Day celebrations when we were younger, and the fact that schools would come out and be a part of it. I always liked to be a part of the march past from my school. But none of that today, COVID-19 pandemic. But of course, we're seeing some national service programs.
Yes.
So I think they're going to be we're going to be looking forward to that one, Linda.
I wonder what's happening at the states. Do you think states will be having any special Independence Day celebration?
Well, I know that the Lagos state government did make an announcement yesterday saying they weren't going to have any celebrations. But I don't know. We'll see what happens by the end of today. I can see many people from the bureaus across the country sending in what is going on in their respective states. We'll take a look at that and see what the celebrations are coming up shortly.
Channel Television will be bringing you every single detail of this Independence Day celebration across the country.
Oh yes.
So just keep on staying with us throughout the day.
Promises to be very interesting.
Promises to be very
I
interesting.
always wondered how they do that thing without bumping into each other.
Practice, Kayla.
Years and years of practice.
Years of practice.
They can turn around as well. It's a lovely display there by the band. As a young Nigerian watching this right now, what do you think is going through the minds of young people right now? Because for a 10-year-old, no 10-year-old has seen an Independence Day celebration at Eagle Square. No 10-year-old in the country has seen a celebration at Eagle Square. Alright, President Muhammadu Buhari making his way into the stand at this point in time.
Thank you. Please take your seats. Thank you. We saw a while ago the first of three very, very significant aspects of a parade of this magnitude. The first was the breaking from a slow march to quick time. We saw the synchronization there, unmistakable. Next, shortly, will be the individual guard halting. We're going to see that shortly.
Mesdames, Messieurs, Excellences, Mesdames, Messieurs les ambassadeurs, distingués invités, vous venez d'assister aux parades des différents groupes militaires en célébration des 60 années d'anniversaire de l'indépendance de la République fédérale du Nigeria.
Awesome precision there. Individual got halted. Your Excellency, the Special Guest of Honor, Reviewing Officer, President, Commander-in-Chief, Your Excellencies, most distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, shortly we're going to have the march past in quick time by the paramilitary organizations and agencies. We're going to see that shortly. Happy view, Your Excellencies. The paramilitary organizations, agencies, comprise of 9 guards. Leading the guards is the guards of the Nigerian Correctional Services, until recently known as the Nigerian Prison Services. This is followed by the guards of the Nigerian Customs Service. And next is the guard of the Nigerian Immigration Service. It is followed by the guard of the Federal Fire Service. And next is the guard of the Federal Road Safety Corps. That's followed by the guard of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC. Next is the unmistakable guard of the Nigerian Legion, patriotic, nationalistic, selfless, loyal Nigerians who answered the clarion call when their services were needed. Some partook in the First World War, the Second World War, the continental campaigns, the sub-regional campaigns that culminated in the 30-month civil strife that engulfed our great nation Nigeria between 1967 and January 15, 1970, and at the declaration of armistice, there was no victor, no vanquished. Great men, Some are the unknown soldiers, but by providence, the ones that are living amidst today, some of them are on parade, the Nigerian Legion. This is followed by the guard of the organized labor made up of Trade Union Congress and the Nigerian Labour Congress. And bringing up the rear is our brothers, our sisters, our children, members of the National Youth Service Corps. Now, the Correctional Services Guard is commanded by Deputy Superintendent of Correctional Service Eta Foley. The Customs Guard is commanded by Deputy Superintendent of Customs Haruna. The Guard of the Nigerian Immigration Service is commanded by Assistant Superintendent of Immigration Alade. And the Guard of the Federal Fire Service is commanded by Assistant Superintendent of Fire Abdomimini Isiaka. The Guard of the Federal Road Safety Corps is commanded by Deputy Route Commander A.H. Kogi. The Guard of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Assistant Superintendent Corps 1, M.V. Sebastian. The Nigerian Legion by Colonel Otubo Kia Donatus, retired. The Guard of the Organized Labor, comprising TUC and NLC, is commanded by Comrade Godwin Tom Sunday. And bringing up the rear is the Guard of the National Youth Service Corps, commanded by Corps Member Basi Samuel. We must say that the Nigerian Legion did a yeoman's job when the services were needed. On their own volition, they answered the clarion call and ensured the indivisibility, the indissolubility, and indeed the indomitability of our great nation, Nigeria. Excellent parade any day. And of course, the NCDC protocol is being observed under normal circumstances. Guards are made up of about 48 members on guard, but I think what we have is 24 to create the physical spacing. Thank you. Can we put our hands together, please? Thank you. March past by the paramilitary organizations and agencies. Parade commander, please. Thank you. Very shortly, we're going to witness combined combined services call-up patrol. At this juncture, the microphone swings over to my co-announcer, Captain Innocent Audu. Captain Audu, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Major Paul Abara, retired. Your Excellency, the special guest of honor, Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. In a short while, we shall be witnessing the Combined Services Color Patrol. This is the first time in the history of the armed forces of our great nation that we will be witnessing a color patrol that involves the three services of the Nigerian armed forces being patrolled in this 60th independent anniversary celebrating our great nation, Nigeria. First ever of its kind being witnessed here today. We just witnessed the guards present arms to the colors in preparation for this unique regimental parade that we will be witnessing for the first time in the history of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria being done as a combined services color patrol. You can see the graceful movement of the ensign to the colors as they proudly and brazenly lift the colors of parade to rest on their shoulder in preparation for this unique parade. The ensign to the colors taking part in this regimental parade is the ensign to the national color, Captain Abdulmalik Suleiman. The ensign to the regimental color of the Nigerian Army is Captain J.U. Jibrila, while the ensign to the regimental colors of the Nigerian Navy is Navy Lieutenant D.A. Olayola. Of course, the ensign to the regimental colors of the Nigerian Air Force is Flight Lieutenant M.S. Cholom. Your Excellency, the special guest of honor, Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, senior officers, ladies and gentlemen. The 4 beats from the bass drum you heard a while ago signifies the commencement of the color patrol. Like I did mention earlier, the color patrol is a unique regimental parade carried out by the Nigerian Army Guards Brigade at the weekly change of guards at the Presidential Villa and the National Arcade. However, as part of innovation celebrating this 60th independent anniversary of our great nation, Nigeria, we are witnessing the first ever combined color patrol by the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. These, of course, involve the national colors, the regimental colors of the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Navy, and the Nigerian Air Force. You can see the graceful movement of the ensigns bearing the color, highly synchronized, flawlessly executed steps being aligned with the mass band on parade being commanded by Major M.A. Turiola. This, of course, like I did mention, is the first time we are privileged to see this parade, and indeed it is one that couldn't have come at a better time. while we enjoy this solemn regimental parade, may I at this point please acquaint you with the origin and significance of Color Patrol. The origin and significance of Color Patrol is traced to two age-long military ceremony in the British Empire. That is, trooping the colors and mounting the Queen's Guard. These ceremonies date back to the early 18th century when the guards and sentries for the royal palaces and other important buildings in the capital of the United Kingdom were mounted daily on the parade ground. The essence of the parade was for the colors of the battalion to be carried or trooped slowly down the rank so that they could be seen and recognized by the soldiers, as the colors all look different depending on the colors and symbol of each regiment. Your Excellency, the special guest of honor, distinguished guests, we just witnessed a while ago the ensigns to the colors haven't presented the colors to His Excellency, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria. They have now retreated back, still maintaining that graceful movement, synchronized with the mass band on parade. They will march past their starting position and also present the colors to the guards on parade for them to also take a good look and recognize the national colors and the regimental colors of their various services. After which they will retreat, and on getting to their starting position, they will halt, and that will mark the end of this unique regimental parade. At this point, permit me to take you back to the significance and of course the origin of this ceremony. In ancient armies, colors were also used so that soldiers could easily spot their units when they were on the battlefield, because it was quite easy to get lost in battle in those days. As a result of this, it was important that soldiers knew which colors belonged to which regiment, hence the need for color trooping. However, in 1748, it was ordered that color trooping parade will also mark the official birthday of the sovereign, that is, the head of the British monarchy. In Nigeria, however, it is an established military tradition that on receipt of new colors, such colors must be formally presented by the receiving regiment or military establishment to the incumbent or sitting president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces before the colors can appear on parade. Colors are also presented or march on parade during important national or military occasions such as the one being witnessed here today in this august arena. Color Patrol, like I did mention, is often done by the Nigerian Army Guards Brigade during the weekly change of guards parade at the Presidential Villa and the National Arcade. However, this is the first time in which the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will be having a combined services color patrol, which include the national colors, the regimental colors of the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Navy, and the Nigerian Air Force. This, of course, is a unique innovation that was introduced to mark this historic 60th independent anniversary of our great nation, Nigeria. You can see the ensigns to the colors. Of course, colors are only carried by commissioned officers, referred to as ensigns to the colors. And you can see them maintaining that synchronized movement of the hands and legs This, of course, has been professionally executed here. Flawless movement coming from these highly trained officers of the Nigerian Armed Forces. Having presented the colors to the guards on parade this morning, the ensigns to the colors have once again retreated in an orderly fashion, still maintaining that graceful movement we are witnessing here today. In a short while, they will reach their starting position, upon which they will halt, and of course, that will mark the end of this historic color patrol, the first ever of its kind, being witnessed here at the Eagle Square, Abuja, celebrating Nigeria's Diamond Jubilee, celebrating our freedom, celebrating our sovereignty 60 years after that fateful day at the famous Tafawa Balewa Square in Lagos, where jubilating and ululating Nigerians took to the arena and the streets of Lagos to mark the independence of our great nation, Nigeria. The world agree with me that despite the challenges, we indeed have reason to celebrate this day. This is a nation that has gone through an unfortunate civil war between 1967 and 1970. We are dealing with other security challenges. However, Nigeria still remains one strong, united, indivisible nation. And today we are here celebrating our freedom, celebrating our independence. Can we put our hands together? That was the color patrol. You can see the ensigns to the color once again as they gracefully and indeed proudly lift the colors off their shoulders. Of course, you will recall that colors are held in very high esteem in the armed forces. This, of course, bears the glory of the regiments. In this case, of course, well, we just witnessed the colors of the services of the Nigerian Armed Forces, talking about the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Navy, and the Nigerian Air Force. We just witnessed the guards who have just put out arms. Of course, they had presented arms in absolute respect and deference to the colors being patrolled. Any moment from now, the color party will retreat and, of course, march smartly to join the rest of the parade. Can we put our hands together once more for this excellent display? Professionalism being exhibited at its peak here at the Eagle Square. Of course, talking about the color patrol. The color party is one of the beauty of any military parade. And we can see them as they march smartly and squarely into line to join the rest of the parade. Your Excellency, the Special Guest of Honor and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, senior officers, both serving and retired officers, ladies and gentlemen. We witnessed a short while ago the historic Combined Services Color Patrol of the Nigerian Armed Forces being witnessed here for the first time in the history of our great nation Armed Forces at this unique arena celebrating the 60th independence anniversary of our great nation. Next on our program is the Combined Silent Drill Squad, Mass Band, and a civilian display by the Adila Dance and Acrobatic Group. This performance is one that seeks to further enhance and indeed project the theme of this year's celebration, which is 60 Together. Together we will be witnessing a unique performance by members of the Nigerian Army Guards Brigade Silent Drill Squad, the Mass Band on Parade, and the Adila Dance and Acrobatic Group. This performance exhibits the mutual relationship that exists between members of the Nigerian Armed Forces, other security organizations and agencies, and of course the Nigerian public. You will agree with me that this is quite unique for us to have a civilian cultural troupe performing with the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Nigerian police in a national parade such as this, celebrating the freedom of our great nation, is one that shows that there is indeed a mutual understanding, a mutual relationship existing between members of the Nigerian armed forces, other security agencies, and indeed the general public. The guards have just presented arms to His Excellency the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, in prelude to their displays. The special guest of honor, distinguished guests, the performance you are witnessing is, like I did mention, is carried out by 30 personnel of the Nigerian Army Guards Brigade Silent Drill Squad. Amongst them we have 15 gallant male soldiers and 15 gallant female soldiers performing in a display that would be exhibiting the high professionalism, high proficiency in foot drill and weapon handling. Excellent synchronization of steps being witnessed here by these highly professionally trained men and women of the Nigerian Army Guards Brigade Silent Drill Squad. Distinguished guests, you can see how these highly professional men and women of the Nigerian Army are able to spin the FN rifle, which is being used for this performance, 360 degrees. It is pertinent to note that the rifle being used by these gallant men and women is by no means light. The FN rifle weighs about 4.5 kilograms, and we can see how these wonderful men and women are able to manipulate the rifle in an excellent display and mastering of weapon handling, synchronized here flawlessly with their proficiency in foot drill with the mass band on parade giving a rhythmic tune as these men and women display the height of professionalism which of course the Nigerian Armed Forces is known and respected for. Can we put our hands together for this wonderful performance being witnessed here? Excellent display, exhibition of excellence in foot drill, weapon handling, dexterity and discipline, highly synchronized performance being witnessed here. We can see the flawless execution of each move by these men and women of the Nigerian Army Guards Brigade Silent Drill Squad. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, it is pertinent to note that what you are witnessing here is being carried out without any initial word of command. What that means is that there is nobody among them giving them orders or directives on what to do at any given time. What you are witnessing is a shared display of training, retraining, hard work, discipline, dexterity, focus of mind, and indeed a high level of professionalism. These of course are some of the qualities that men and women of the Nigerian Army Guards Brigade Silent Drill Squad and indeed members of the Nigerian Armed Forces are known and respected for. We can see that high level of professionalism being exhibited here at the Eagle Square, celebrating the freedom of our great nation, Nigeria. Wonderful display befitting of a celebration such as the one we are witnessing today. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, what you are witnessing now is the squad aligning themselves, paving way for the mass band on parade to join up in this unique performance. And what you can see right now taking place on the parade ground is the adoption and the formation of the Diamond Head. This formation is adopted for two key reasons. The first one is to wish Nigeria a successful and a blessed Diamond Jubilee. Can we put our hands together? You can see the formation of the Diamond Head, which of course, like I did mention, signifies the troops wishing Nigeria a successful Diamond Jubilee. The second reason we are going to witness shortly as the Adila dance and acrobatic groups file in with the majorette display. Your Excellency, the special guest of honor, Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, senior officers, ladies and gentlemen, what you are witnessing now is the majorette display performance being exhibited here by the Adila Dance and Acrobatic Group. Now, the second reason for the adoption of the Diamond Head, which I spoke about, what you can see now happening is that these highly professionally trained men and women of the Nigerian Armed Forces and the mass band on parade have formed an all-round defense. Now within that all-round defense, you can see a fortress that has been created at the middle. That fortress represents the Nigerian society. That fortress represents the 36 states of our federation and indeed the territorial integrity of our great nation, Nigeria. And you can see as a result of the defense created by these highly professionally trained men and women, performance can take place. You can also see the roller skaters performing outside. Of course, that is to tell you that we provide security not just within the fortress but also outside. Your Excellency, you can notice some fracas taking place now within the fortress that has been created by these highly professionally trained men and women of the Nigerian Armed Forces. Now, that symbolizes the unfortunate civil war and other security challenges that we are facing. The armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, in conjunction with other security agencies, haven't arrested the situation and restore peace in our great nation. We can see performance and peace, people's coexistence and business gradually coming back, as we are going to witness shortly.
Nigeria. We are wanting the visibility, the great model.
Of course, after the disruption, we are now witnessing the interlude to Stronger Together.
With great determination and ability, because we are stronger.
Your Excellencies, the special guest of honor, distinguished guests, with peace having been restored by the members of the Nigerian Armed Forces and other security agencies, we can now witness the performance. Of course, taking place now is the cultural display, celebrating the over 250 ethnic groups of our great nation, Nigeria. Nigeria is indeed a nation blessed with different talents. We can see these highly talented young Nigerians celebrating our freedom here, exhibiting the beautiful and rich culture of our great nation, Nigeria. You can see some foot juggling being carried out there. That young talented Nigeria, Miss Temi Are, displaying that wonderful foot juggling there. This is indeed a display of talents. Nigeria is indeed blessed. Your Excellency, the special guest of honor, you can see performing now within the diamond fortress created is the contortionist. This performance is being done by these two talented Nigerians, Victor and Mercy. I'm sure most of our distinguished guests are as dumbfounded as I am here, if these are actually Nigerians or we have some set of clone individuals with elastic in place of bone. You can see a high level of elasticity, body movement. Abuja. Round of applause. Beautiful performance. Celebrating the talent of our great nation, Nigeria. Celebrating the beneficial and mutual relationship existing between members of the Nigerian Armed Forces, other security agencies, and indeed the general public and the population of our great nation, Nigeria, being synchronized in this beautiful display. Like I was mentioning earlier, the Nigerian Army Silent Drill Squad and the band have performed in faraway Scotland, United Kingdom in 2019 at the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo. That performance was one that took the world by storm and went viral on social media. If you have not seen it, I encourage you, distinguished guests, please go online to witness the international performance done by the Nigerian Army Guard Brigade Silent Drill Squad and the band at the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo. What you are witnessing now, distinguished guests, are the guards, of course the Silent Drill Squad and the mass band. They have just aligned themselves to form Nigeria at 60. That is it, Nigeria at 60. That's unity as formed by the cultural troops. N I G A C 6 0. Round of applause.
Your Excellency, the special guest of honor, Your Excellencies, all protocols duly respectfully observed. Today's ceremony commemorates the Diamond Jubilee of our great nation, Nigeria. Please, with the aid of the binoculars with you, we request Your Excellencies and most distinguished guests to look up to Aso Rock, overlooking the presidential pavilion here at the Eagle Square, Abuja. You could view the unveiling of Nigeria 60, the fireworks and the balloons, all in celebration of today's ceremony in Nigeria 60. They are a beautiful sight to behold. Happy view, Your Excellencies.
Mesdames, Messieurs, Excellences, Mesdames, Messieurs les ambassadeurs, vous venez d'assister aux parades et aux acrobatiques d'un groupe culturel. Maintenant, vous êtes invités à regarder de l'autre côté de Aso Rock, complètement de haut de la colline. Et vous verrez Nigeria, c'est marqué là-bas, Nigeria à 60 ans.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, what we are witnessing now is the celebration performance celebrating Nigeria at 60, celebrating the 777 local governments of our great nation, celebrating the 36 states including the Federal Capital Territory, celebrating the over 200 million wonderful citizens of our great nation, Nigeria. Can we put our hands together once more? Beautiful performance being witnessed here. We also saw the unveiling of Nigeria at 60 at the peak of Aso Rock. Of course, the peak of Aso Rock has a height of 936 meters, that is 3,071 feet above sea level. And at that peak, you can see Nigeria at 60 also pertinent to note, Aso means victorious in the native language of the Aso ethnic group. Of course, we are indeed victorious today. We can see the performance by this troop, excellent performance. What you are witnessing now, they have just aligned themselves for a group photograph. And even that is professionally and flawlessly executed. Beautiful display of professionalism, discipline and dexterity. That is it. Photograph has just been taken to, of course, document this moment in the history of our great nation, Nigeria. You can see the freedom sign there, the symbol of power as they proudly fly the flag of our great nation, Nigeria. Excellent performance here, befitting of the 60th anniversary of a great nation, the most populous nation in Africa. The giant of Africa indeed is 60 today. Round of applause once more for the Nigerian Army Guard Brigade Silent Drill Squad, the mass band on parade, and the Adila Dance and Acrobatic Group. International standard performance being witnessed here. The Adila Dance and Acrobatic Group have also performed in faraway China, projecting the rich culture of our great nation, Nigeria. They have performed in South Africa, Ghana, Ethiopia, and Senegal. And I did mention that the Nigerian Army Guards Brigade Silent Drill Squad and the band have also performed in faraway Scotland, United Kingdom in 2019 at the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo. Indeed, we are privileged to witness this world-class international performance celebrating the freedom of our great nation, celebrating our sovereignty, celebrating our togetherness, and of course, celebrating the unique and mutual relationship that exists between members of the Nigerian Armed Forces, other security agencies, and the general public as we continue to work together in peace and harmony, as we continue to strive together in support of our armed forces to tackle the security challenges confronting our nation. Of course, you will agree with me that Nigeria has every reason to celebrate today. We have come a long way, 60 years. We have been through an unfortunate civil war between 1967 and 1970. We have had series of internal crises, which all we have been able to surmount them, and we have remained as one nation living in peace. That alone is a good reason to celebrate. And of course, needless to say that there is no nation on earth that has not gone through or going through one form of security challenges or
history. They are the Augusta helicopters with call sign the Falcons, the Alpha jets with call sign the Aggressors, and the L-39ZA with call sign the Cobras. Permit me to inform you, Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, that the flypast this morning shall be in 3 waves. The first wave shall be the Augusta helicopters flying in a 2-ship formation, proudly displaying the Nigeria 60 Diamond Anniversary banner. The second wave are the Alpha jets flying in a 3-ship formation. And finally, the L-39ZA also flying in a 3-ship formation. May I also add that the flypast today is not as elaborate as earlier planned due to the poor weather condition occasioned by the low cloud base over the Eagle Square at this time. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, This display you are about to witness this morning forms part of the routines carried out daily by the pilots of the Nigerian Air Force in the ongoing fight against terrorism in the northeast, armed banditry in the northwest, and other forms of insecurity in the country. Please relax and enjoy the awesome aerial capabilities of the Nigerian Air Force as we celebrate Nigeria at 60 together here at the Eagle Square. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, it may interest you to know that formation flying is a disciplined flight of 2 or more aircraft under the command of a flight lead. Military pilots use formation flying for mutual defense and concentration of firepower. Formation flying is performed during occasions like this to show how disciplined our pilots perform in the air and to showcase the overall combat efficiency of the Nigerian Air Force. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, may I request you turn your attention to the right side of the parade ground as we herald the fly past of today's ceremony. Leading the fly past are the Augusta helicopters. The Augusta is an advanced multi-role helicopter capable of combat and non-combat utilization, and they were inducted into the Nigerian Air Force aircraft inventory in March 2010. 2 more were inducted in April 2019, and an additional 2 were inducted in February 2020, making a total of 4 inducted under the present administration of the Nigerian Air Force, headed by the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, with the staunch support of the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, Grand Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, above are the Augusta helicopters executing an orbit salute to Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria. His Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, Grand Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic. Please a round of applause for the Falcons. What a spectacular view as the Augusta helicopter gracefully and proudly displayed the Diamond Independence Anniversary banner. Written on the banner is the theme for this year's anniversary, which reads, "Celebrating Nigeria at 60 together." Indeed, it is a joyous and historic moment today that despite our struggles and predictions to the contrary, we are still celebrating Nigeria together, standing tall with our heads held up high as a strong, indivisible and great nation. Congratulations, Nigeria. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, permit me to add that the lead helicopter is being flown by Squadron Leader Olushola Adeniyi and Flight Lieutenant Larry Azi, while the second helicopter is flown by Squadron Leader Kelechi Nwagba and Flying Officer Kizito Omoragbon. Please a round of applause for the finest Air Force in West Africa, our gallant pilots manning these aircraft. Permit me to add that the Augusta helicopters is actively involved in several operations in the country. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, the next formation flying past are the Alpha Jets with the call sign, the Aggressors. The aircraft is a tactical trainer and attack jet, which has the capability to deliver missiles, cannons, rockets, and bombs. The Alpha Jets aircraft was inducted into the Nigerian Air Force inventory in 1982 and can be utilized for both air-to-air combat and air-to-ground combat. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, may I quickly add that the Alpha Jet has been used in several combat operations Above Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, are the Alpha Jets in a three-ship formation, flying in echelon, saluting Nigeria at 60. This aircraft has been used during the ECOMOG operations in Liberia and Sierra Leone, in northern Mali, and Operation Restore Democracy in the Gambia in recent times. It has also been employed in the fight against terrorism and other forms of insecurity in the northeast, the northwest, and the Niger Delta region. Please, a round of applause for the aggressors. The lead aircraft is flown by Squadron Leader Fumen Dogo and Flight Lieutenant Yusuf Ahmed. The number 2 aircraft is flown by Squadron Leader Samuel Hastrov and Flight Lieutenant Ebiapo Chapelle, while the number 3 is flown by Flight Lieutenant Festus Oga and Flight Lieutenant Nuruli. And that is the Alpha Jet saying, congratulations Nigeria once again. A round of applause for the aggressors. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, the last formation for the flight past this morning are the L-39ZA. It may interest you to know that the L-39ZA is a subsonic single-engine aircraft which was inducted into the Nigerian Air Force aircraft inventory in 1986 as a basic trainer. These jets were almost grounded, but thanks to the enabling environment created by the support of His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, Grand Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic. The aircraft was given a new lease of life in country and weaponized by a joint team of engineers and technicians from the Czech Republic and the Nigerian Air Force, and ever since has been actively involved in operations such as Operation Lafia Dole in the northeast, Operation Hadarin Daji in the northwest, as well as actively involved in the training of fighter pilots for the Nigerian Air Force. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, the lead aircraft for today's formation is flown by Squadron Leader Utibe Brown and Squadron Leader Yaswarsu Yabilsu. The second aircraft is flown by Squadron Leader Mansur Yusuf and Squadron Leader Jeremiah Akebu, while the third aircraft is flown by Squadron Leader Tarilado Ogoina and Flight Lieutenant Kabir Usman. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, it may interest you to know, Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, above are the L-39ZA in a three-ship formation flying in echelon with the smoke display of the national colors. A round of applause for the L-39ZA. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, overhead are the L-39ZA trailing with the national colors, wishing Nigeria a happy celebration. Please, a round of applause for the Alpha Jet. It takes a lot of guts, it takes a lot of training, it takes a lot of discipline to carry out these feats exhibited by the bravest and the finest of the Nigerian Air Force. Please, another round of applause for the Nigerian Air Force pilots. They are indeed willing, able, and ready. I will now hand over to Captain Innocent Aldu to continue with the rest of the proceedings. Thank you.
Thank you, Squadron Leader Gloria Tonha. At this point, distinguished invited guests, we would move to the next item on our program, which is the advance in review order.
Awesome. Put your hands together, please. Synchronized. Your Excellency, the special guest of honor, Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, please, a word of caution here. Where before the national salute ending this ceremony, there's going to be 21-gun salute given by the Nigerian Army Artillery. Please, it's part of this ceremony. No panicking and no fear, please. It's part of this ceremony. At this juncture, Your Excellencies, may I now pass the mic to Mrs. Dayo Benjamins Lani to take us to the next segment. Mrs. Lani, please.
Thank you very much. Major Paul Abara, retired. Your Excellency, the special guest of honor, distinguished invited guests, senior officers, ladies and gentlemen. At this point in this prestigious program of Independence Day events, I respectfully request the Commander Guards Brigade, Brigadier General Mohammed Takuti Usman, to invite His Excellency, the special guest of honor, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, for the signing of the anniversary register in commemoration of Nigeria's 60th Diamond Jubilee celebrations, today hosted this historic Independence Day, Thursday, 1st October 2020. His Excellency, the special guest of honor, will be accompanied by Her Excellency the First Lady, His Excellency the Vice President, His Excellency the Senate President, Excellency the Speaker, Chief Justice of Nigeria, SGF, the Minister of Defense, the Honorable Minister for the FCT, the National Security Advisor, and all of the eminent cluster of Nigerian service chiefs. Thank you. Once again, this is the historic signing by Mr. President of the anniversary register in commemoration of Nigeria's 60th Diamond Jubilee celebrations. Today at the Eagle Square, Abuja, Federal Capital Territory. We'd also like to respectfully ask Their Excellencies, our former presidents and commanders-in-chief, His Excellency General Gowon and His Excellency President Goodluck Jonathan, to please accompany the presidential signing of the register. It's a celebration for Nigeria, and in the spirit of celebrating Diamond Jubilee, young and old, diaspora Nigerians here at home on native soil, it's happy Independence Day and happy 60th Jubilee anniversary. Today, Nigeria's historic 60th celebration and anniversary is themed Together, a single word expressing the indestructible power of our national integrity, and integrity stated in the Nigerian coat of arms: unity, faith, peace, and progress. Together, one word, one message, one mandate, and one prayer for all Nigerians everywhere as Nigeria celebrates 60 together. Once again, Your Excellencies, we have Their Excellencies, our former presidents, General Gowon, as well as His Excellency President Goodluck Jonathan, and we see he's also accompanied also acknowledging the presence of Her Excellency, former First Lady as well, Her Excellency Mama P. Dame Patience Goodluck Jonathan. Once again, it's a celebration of our colors, green, white, green at 60. It's a thematic declaration of our integrity, our national pedigree, and our distinctive DNA for Nigerians here and everywhere. Together we are stronger. Together we are happier. A nation of happy people. At one time it was stated the happiest people in the world. Today the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Nigerians everywhere can defiantly make their own personal decree for change, differentiation, and purpose together. Special guest of honor, His Excellency the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, signing the anniversary register. Nigeria is diamond, and with this quartz expression, indestructible and full of the power of national worth and legacy. Very distinguished cluster of the elder statesmen, presidential force, emeritus, His Excellency the Vice President, First Lady, Senate President, Speaker, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, the SGF, the Minister of Defense, the FCT Minister, and now His Excellency, Mr. President, and
Once again, the national salute will be preceded by 21-gun salutes by the Nigerian Army Artillery, please. It's part of this ceremony, please. Please, thank you. At this juncture, may we all please rise wherever we are seated, please. May we all please rise wherever we are seated, please. In honor, please. Protocol, please. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, quite a celebration, and with that we've come to the end of the 60th Independence Anniversary celebrations live right here at the Eagle Square in the nation's capital, Abuja. President Muhammadu Buhari has been here all through the event, signed the Independence Register. Also, so many things happened here today.
Cultural
I saw that cultural display.
calisthenics.
Linda, my knee started hurting just watching that girl move like that.
Beautiful display.
Lovely,
from
creative,
young
from young
Nigerians.
people. Yes, it was really nice to see that. We also just heard the 21-gun salute. The artillery, we're looking out to see where it was coming from, and we saw it was hidden somewhere in the bushes. All right, so we actually just witnessed that. Also, the advance and review order was in display as well. We heard the 3 hearty cheers. The national salute just went off, and of course, the end of the parade is what we're experiencing right now. President Muhammadu Buhari is about to leave the premises.
On behalf of the chairman of the Inter-Ministerial Planning Committee, that was as the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa.
The President is flanked by members of the National Assembly, former President Goodluck Jonathan and his wife,
Dame Patience Jonathan,
are here with other top-ranking government officials.
Of course, we're seeing the National Security Advisor. We're also seeing the Chief Justice of Nigeria. Members of the President's Cabinet, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation is also here to witness this historic celebration. Interesting that former President Goodluck Jonathan is here with his wife as well, the Vice President.
He appears to be the only former president at this event.
Yes, he appears. So I was looking around to see if I'll see Mr. Gowon anywhere, and I haven't been able to see him. But of course, these face masks make it difficult for you to recognize people. However, we do note that former President Goodluck Jonathan is present at this particular event, and they're saying their goodbyes right now to President Muhammadu Buhari as he makes his way out of the Eagle Square. The 60th independence anniversary of Nigeria, celebrated low-key, so to speak, although those celebrations didn't seem very low-key. That was an elaborate dancing.
It was an elaborate dancing
going on there,
and lots of displays from the security personnel,
of course,
in Abuja.
Now we're seeing President Muhammadu Buhari making his way out of Eagle Square, bringing officially to an end this celebration,
Independence Anniversary celebration,
right here at the Eagle Square. Remember the theme this year: together. The plan is to make it together. The bagpipers are escorting President Muhammadu Buhari as he leaves the Eagle Square at this very point in time. Well, that marks the end of our live coverage here. Lots of high points, lots of reflections, a lot of things to think about. And I know the conversations around the activities that have been happening since morning will continue.
The conversation surrounding the president's speech would also continue. Like we said, that speech is going to be dissected and looked at very closely.
Filtered, explained, defended, criticized. We're going to be seeing all of that going on in the days to come. But effectively, 1st October 2020, marking 60 years of Nigeria's independence, being celebrated here at the Eagle Square in Abuja. And with that, we come to the end of our live coverage of the celebrations at Eagle Square. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you very much for staying with us. I'm Linda Akibe.
I'm Kayla Megwa. Do enjoy the rest of your day. We'll return you to Lagos right now for regular programming.